Hey everyone, it is kinda early stream, since what I wanted to do today is not really doable, but hey, what time to stream. So, I hope it's not too long, but I do want to fully get to Zwillingstürme. That would be kinda neat. And later in the evening I will still stream some Slay the Spire with the Bozos. But yeah, we did not do the after story of this, so we're gonna start here. We did go into weird banished dimension and having fun. I'm going out. Would you like to come with? Alright. Give me a moment. What is it? 3, 2, 1. Frau Seemann, guten Abend. The window facing the street opens in response, and a woman with a furrowed brow holds a paintbrush, gazing into the distance. The young girl waves to her, smiling as bright as the marigolds lining the alley. Frau Seemann takes a break and opens the window every day right at this time. Man, that is German scheduling for sure. She paints all morning and looks into the distance, listens to the music, relaxes and looks for inspiration. That's odd. Looks like she's in a bad mood today. She closed the window without waving back. Maybe she's having trouble with art. We will go see her with Mutti tonight. You know the neighborhood well, Vivian. You mean Karl-Schmidt Street? Of course I do. Been here all 10 years of my life. Your parents always live here? We were away for a brief stints a few times. I'm not sure why. They always came back. When you compare it to the rest of Zwillingstürme, Karl-Schmidt isn't anything special. Got a few flower shops, a bar, paint stores, and some stone buildings. We don't even have a spire. Well, you can aspire to have one, but I'm funny as hell, baby. People here are ordinary, plus a few struggling artists and nobles. But my parents really like it here. Have they ever had any trouble? Patty mentioned some trouble before, but he's been prepared for anything since he decided to stay. Did Werner von Hochberg find a way to become common? Patty's not so common. We only teach literature at a commoner school in Wine. Is it in Wine? Why is this just called Wine? But the big kids, they respect him a lot. I see. Probably used all his connections in Storm and Zwillingstürme. So all his savings. Maybe even change his appearance. No small thing to give up on everything one has. By the way, Vivian, is that a cake you're holding? Yeah, the lady next door taught me. The marigold's stem has a bitterness to it, but when ground into powder and pinched into a cake, its fragrance helps balance the sweetness. Woody found a job in Bachshof, earning a bit more than before. She's working as an editor for her favorite poetry journal. We get home very late though. I said I'd bring her lunch for a whole month. Isn't that exhausting? Hmm? You smell that? What? When the peace picks up, the fragrance of the coffee shop up ahead wafts over. Oh no, she's already into drugs. I help with as much as I can, so Mutti and Vati won't be so tired. At least enough that they can take me to Frau Seemann's gatherings on the weekends. They hold my hands as we walk down the long alley to her house. There's so many interesting people there. Play the piano so well and speak so eloquently. I like it here. I don't think it's exhausting. I'm glad of that. Man, how must it feel like basically seeing such a happy childhood? But there's a catch, right? There's always a catch. Rihanna. It's a wonderful life too. What's this? Wasn't that Lucinda? How could such a well-behaved commoner have offended anyone? Did she write something she shouldn't have? Why did our authorities come so quickly? Is there any explanation? I got as quick as they came. What else can we say? Careful what you ask. Probably has something to do with her husband. Werner? I've heard he's actually the heir to the Kurfürst of Sturmland, living incognito with his wife and daughter on Carl Smith Street for the past decade. I've gotten along with them so well all these years. I'd never have guessed. He did himself so well. Oh, how could that be? Who was it when I didn't show up to class this morning? Who knows if he was taken away by a Hochberg-Vassal or the Empress's voice? What's it was Frieda Seemann who gave him up. No, why would she? That woman's out of her mind. Shh, keep your voice down. The cake thuds as it falls to the ground. Liana hears sobbing. Touch her shoulders before her temple, like flowers battered by the wind. She holds the girl's hand tightly. Vivian, don't look. I think we found the catch. Signora Eula's Schüler. I perceive only vague silhouettes of the remnants. Could you clearly point out locations where they may be hidden? My pattern fire may be of use. I will guarantee your safety. Executor. You may have misunderstood. Those men aren't here to do anything to me. When I first saw the masked people, I would keep my distance and hide. I later found they weren't concerned with me at all. Their appearance in any particular part of Zwillingstürme usually means there's a new threat. They are more like a signal. Threat? Not a true threat. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a natural disaster beyond human comprehension. I know only bad weather or a waking nightmare, and she has been living in hell. Atmosphere in Zwillingstürme has taken a turn for the worse, especially recently. Clouds are heavy, even the sunset looks faded. I'm always hearing loud, thundering noises. Several times I woke to find a whole chunk of Zwillingstürme completely empty. Man, it must be horrifying if your reality is basically slowly but surely vanishing away in front of your eyes. So many prominent buildings seemingly dug away by something, leaving only an empty space where they once were, like a whole section of history had been erased. The threats erased the spire of different eras without a trace, gradually consuming all of Zwillingstürme. And sooner or later, the small area I live in will be next. So he jumped out to prevent me from using my pattern firearm, protecting this place. Yeah, I've never seen you before. I've had a powerful premonition this time. Premonition. Those feelings are usually nothing more than psychological indicators. Without backing in logic, it's difficult to take an action upon them. But the Witch King's remains have indeed appeared. Executor. When you live in a place for 5 or 10 years, you become a part of it. You develop senses like a foul beast and can smell the storm before it comes. You would aid the echoes of Herkunftszone? No, this is my own thing. Even if they didn't appear today, I'd find a way myself. But how will you fight against those disasters, the weather, or the waking nightmares? That's the neat part, you don't, you just hide. With those arts devices you're carrying? The truth is, I've been going to different places around this time each day, especially to those planks and the edges where buildings have vanished. That's dangerous. But I've collected enough devices from those places. There seemed to be some sort of echo device that collects arts information. Orchiello, the masked men truly are the echoes of Herkunftszone, and these echo devices must be what the Witch King used to deal with his enemies. They'll surely come in handy. Are you going to venerate the suite yourself? Marigold Alley is on the outskirts of Bodenshof, very inconspicuous. No one comes here deliberately, except some tourists, painters, and wandering poets. Even all of Bodenshof, taken against the 22 districts of Zwillingstürme, isn't all that special. And in this Zwillingstürme, with its many storied historical spires, maybe no one would even notice such an ordinary alley, but it's my home. That's where I was born and raised. No one knows it better than me. I know when it's lively and when it's quiet. I know all its sounds, the singing of wandering troubadours, the humming tunes of pedestrians, busy footsteps on the cobblestones, the sound of rain against the marigolds and awnings. I know where the resonance pipelines buried beneath the street are still functional. I know which art sculptures on the corners can replace the broken parts, and how to connect them all in the most convenient way, then activate them with these echo devices. I guess it's probably the story explanation for the our cool black hole thingies, right? But you don't know what the modified resonance pipelines will even do. These devices left in those empty areas suggest that... Oh, but for Orchiello, there's something I have to do. Now I can always do something. I told myself as much when I was very young. I said I'd take good care of Jan and myself, not be like our parents. Your parents? They passed away a long time ago. I think it was 1077. Parents were persecuted during the Twin Empresses coup. Nine, it was common as common could be. We were sick at the time, and the mental sound of the Witch King's challenge the spire collapsing in the distance. The tumbling of the soldiers outside the house all aggravated the illness. I always feared that, at any moment, Shadow and me would burst in and take us away, or even level the entire block. In turbulent times like that, there's nothing so shocking. It died in terror even before Herr Bach could launch his glorreiches Kapitalprojekt. A terrible clamor drowns out everything else. We hear only the voices within ourselves, and our fears and worries magnified. Julia, forgive me for not being able to better comfort you. It's alright. Don't say that I can't let myself lose the courage to live as I have been. Maybe you still don't see our surroundings clearly. We've walked all the way from the gallery at the end of the street down to the cafe where I spent almost a decade. I started working there just to make ends meet. No one was kind, letting me and Jan live in the shed behind the courtyard. I turned it into a proper home and even set up a little space for Jan to practice his arts. The boy is gifted, you know. We saw casters using arts to repair sculptures on the street. We watched for only a few moments before going home, spending the whole night turning his room into a sound control space. I've talked about it with Loris, and we'll send him to study arts at Ludwig's Universität. Loris intends to make a career in Zwillingstürme. Once he does, we'll give Jan a recommendation. Yeah, well, later, when this cafe was about to close down, I used all my savings to buy it for myself. Became the owner, the waitress, and even worked on making my own special blend of coffee for its grand reopening. Danger is unpredictable, but life is tangible. You only want to protect it. From the piano studio on the corner to here, a total of 8 resonance pipelines, and these echo devices happen to fit the interfaces on them. I told you they'd be useful. That is logical. Bach turned all of Zwillingstürme resonance pipelines during his glorreiches Kapitalprojekt in order to adjust the arts arrays laid throughout the city during the reign of the Witch King. Just a few steps to my cafe now. The construction project for this half is almost done. More remnants. Are they showing up again? Yeah, right around the corner from the cafe. I guess I need to work faster. What is it? This feels familiar. Similar to a certain day. Exactly the same even, so you're caught in limbo. It was the day I first opened the cafe. I stood by the door waiting for Loris and Jan. We were a little late. I knew the two of them wanted to do something special for the grand opening. We were a little too obvious about it. Loris went to order flowers in another part of the city, and specifically asked me to wait for him in the most conspicuous part of the block. He didn't even realize he'd left the order on the table when he came by to help it the day before. Meanwhile, Jan had snuck into Frau Seeman's house a few times the week before. Nearly all the kids of Margaret Alley have asked her to paint them a souvenir, still live at one point or another. I let them go anyway. The beginning of a new life. Promised Loris as much too. The wind was strong that morning, enough to make you feel dazed. There weren't many people out on the street. But I think I noticed two standing in the corner opposite the cafe. They had black masks with twisted patterns on them. They noticed me too. They walked over. They are so evil. How did they? Witch King's remains. That explains how you perceive the patterns in the gemstone as manifesting in concrete form. This was your only connection to the Witch King during your lifetime. Your speculation differed widely from the two. It just happened to be at a scene while the Witch King's remains were taking action. The city council had no intent to protect the nobleman. This one involved in taking action against the remains. One can imagine Freiherr Finn's ultimate fate. But early in the vein of the Twin Empresses, things needed to dissociate the entire case from the Witch King and his remains. I love politics. He halted the investigation, concealed the truth of the matter, and hastily closed the case. That was the most efficient approach. What do you mean? Julia Schöler. Death was entirely coincidental. Wrong place, wrong time. I've uncovered the truth of the case. Recalling these details is a burden to you. Please refrain from doing so. Nein, Herr Executor. I'm only worried that this fate may disappear from Zwillingstürme at some point, just like the long-gone spires, and that I'll never have the chance to keep my promise to Loris. Logically speaking, you have already. Executor, have you ever made any unfulfilled promises? Since accepting my commission with the Notarial Hall, there have been 2 instances where the dissonance was too ambiguous to be enforceable, and 2 instances where the target was inadvertently destroyed in an explosion. Man, how did that happen? No other circumstances. Oh, I don't mean at work. I promise. Fide, what are you doing? Drawing. In the dark? It's not difficult. I'm busying myself. You said you needed quiet. Gracias. What are you drawing? Laterano, by night. Why would you want to draw Laterano by night? Because the room is dark. Sora, the nasal tone of your voice has grown lighter. You stopped crying. You said you would gradually master your playing. I believe in you. Everyone says you have a talent for music. In general, talent should not bring pain. Welcome to life, my man. I will master it, Fate. I have to. Are you going to finish your drawing? You seem to be having trouble. Well, it would be hilarious if it's just all black. I feel like that would be peak FedEx painting. I completed the overall outline. I'll need to refine the details. But when I fall to Laterano, where is the first place to light up? I don't know. How about you wait for me to master my method and play my first piece? It won't take long. Then I can take you to the highest point in Laterano to see for yourself. That would answer your question, wouldn't it? Alright. It's that easy, baby. To me, a promise is a form of contract. When I made that contract, my cognitive abilities were not yet fully developed. I was unclear of the obstacles we faced, as well as the painful meaning behind overcoming those obstacles. You just did not have, like, all the intel, and so, you know, I think you can back out. You were not, it was not legally binding. You got us, FedEx. Undefined chaos. She herself was the first victim of her music. Therefore, understanding the full extent of her changes and preventing her from continuing to spread chaos is a responsibility I must fulfill. No. I'm sure wonder how the whole of Arturia gets wrapped up. Executor. Is that why you've come to Zwillingstürme too? He cares. Is the person you're talking about also Sancta? Arturia, female, 168 centimeters tall, straight black hair. More below her left eye, carries a custom-made cello. She arrived here before I did. Have you seen her? I'm talking to her right now. Porciello, you may not want to follow me any further. Why not? You just said that from the gallery at the end of the street to here, the cafe just ahead. All the resonance pipelines here will soon be restored. What is it you're keeping from me? I believe he's the one who hurt you. He's a Sancta as well, yes, but he seems difficult to talk to. He's so special. Federico? So he's here too. I appreciate your concern, but if it was my little brother who hurt me, you'd have found a few more bullet holes. I mean, he would not kill you. So you're siblings. That's hard to imagine. Oh, come on, I mean, look at the wings and everything. Federico will definitely catch up to me. The discovery of gaps along the path once been following widely causes confusion. But for him, that confusion isn't a ripple, it's a crack in the ice. Neither of us can stop until we find answers. Alright then. Phew, this is the last bit. Piano studio in the corner, the gallery at the end of the street, beginning and at the end. All the resonance pipelines converge here. Julia. I know what you want to say. This might not have any effect at all. If so, I'll think of another way. You have an eternity time, and there's like 5 of you. You got this. I can't let myself just hide away in my home, waiting for the storm to pass. The echo devices are all in place. Now it's time to activate the resonance pipelines. Without direction, without daylight, everything is covered in shadow. The Genesis horn seems to be forever shrouded in mist. But Arturia perceives the illumination of the pipelines, like a flame in the dark. Rolling out from the two of them, from near to far, the surrounding scenery gradually becomes clear. She sees everything as clearly as in Julia's eyes. A street lined with marigolds, countless peculiar spires. The place is not chaotic. It is one that exists beyond time and space, a grand construct. At the same time, music flows into her ears. It's the music of all Marigold Alley, also a part of a grander movement, composition that belongs to her comfort zone. Julia, Marcelo is silent, but I've heard your innermost thoughts. You're touching. Allow me to express my gratitude. We are both to the cabinet before her. See, you don't need to, you don't imagine us talking. Huh? So, the most common soul and the most powerful are both written on the same sheet of music. The heavy-winged sculptures prostrate on both sides of Arturia, supporting towering stone pillars at angles defy mechanical explanation. No, the pillars are suspended in mid-air. A palace, solemn and majestic, befits the king. At the end of the steps, man stands motionless with his throne. Red curtains sway and cast layers of light on him, veiling the monarch's countenance. But the infamous twisted horns belie his name. It is the man himself, High. I mean, Files of Navigator kinda spoiled his existence to me, and for Morse. I've seen you in so many fragments of history and legend. Of course, paths is you in the memories of so many, including the liches. But does not also Julia still alive? I caught the faint sense that this journey would really lead to a meeting with the man himself. Allow me to introduce myself. Arturia Giallo. Salutations. He's called... I cannot take the Witch King serious, okay. Salutations, Otto Dietmar Gustav von Ortica. Herkunftszorn. Your Majesty the Witch King. I guess, you know, I can see Otto, but man, it is the German's name of all times. Written by Ludwig, Kurfürst of Einwald. May all questions be answered in the end. I don't know, we will be fine. We will not be fine. It's past 1. Okay, let me just quickly go to the base. Oh no, the game also wants money from me again. It is a horrible day to be alive. Yoink. And then just give me this. That should be alright for now. Okay, let's go back to the story the game so rudely interrupted me from. Giallo, called Toste. So you are forever captured in the Endless Spire. I'm most uncertain when he got separated from the others. Crumbling structures fall periodically from above. The stairs beneath his feet spiral endlessly. He can only move forward. He's alone. Indefensible. I mean, he also has to show up to the Witch King. I feel like he of all people that are here needs this for himself. You are despicable, Ebenholz. You've interfered in our judgment, wasted our time, hindered our cause. Apparently the worst sinner there is. Forgive me if I don't look as sorry as I feel. So would you join us for an audience of His Majesty now? Or would you seek to prevent his return to the mundane world? You do not have what it takes. You could not do it. That should have been clear long ago. We should have known. It's obvious. His Majesty's blood is so strong. His soul so tenacious. The voice of Mundane was but a byproduct of his music. And yet it alone had brought you to your knees with the pain it inflicts. You were born weak. Far too weak to live up to any expectations. Okay, you're just fakes. This man is good enough. That is to say, you are the ones forcing those wretched noises into my mind. Then, in the end, it is me who bears responsibility for all of this? Yeah, it's kinda your fault. Also, you say he is too weak, but he's like one of the only two survivors of your goddamn shitty thing, so You should be thankful, Eppenholz. Should it known from the beginning that the voice of Mundane wasn't a key to His Majesty's inheritance, would it Vince have granted you the title of Graf Ortica? No, and before then, you'd have died in the cradle. You should take pride in your title. More than that, you should be ashamed of it. You're giving like conflicting messaging there, my spooky ghost. Yeah, I feel the same. And so, begun. You are hateful, Eppenholz. How many died under the Witch King's tyranny? How many disappeared without a trace? Lithania is scarred. Even 23 years later, the wounds are still bleeding. Verdammt. Only for the tyrant to die silently in one night, never knowing any power of justice. And you, his last remaining descendant, you were born with the mark of sin in your blood. You should atone for him. Atone for all he did to Lithanian. But why do you have to live a comfortable life, Eppenholz? Or while mocking yourself as an obvious nobody? I despise the sin-tainted blood each and every day. The same as you do. No. You have no idea the evil it has wrought. The summons seal into Urtica again and again, encircling your spire like flies to rotting meat. My youngest son had only just joined the security forces when he found their trail. His corpse bobbed in a ravine for 3 days before they found it, all while you hid a vein in your spire. You know the size of the Urtica domain? What corpse it produces? How often the tax collector comes from the capital? What disasters the land has suffered in recent years? There's no lanes that are more hateful than you, your illustrious highness. He was never in charge, okay? Stop. Go no further. The braver you are, the more ridiculous you look. You're pitiful, Eppenholz. Remember Gertrude, Before she died, she left some real nasty curses. She cursed Rieseheim, the Ithanian, the Witch King, and she cursed you. The curse was, word for word, may the madness of Ebenholz's bloodline haunt him forever. When I came back to Zwillingstürme, I thought to myself, damn! That mad woman's curse really came to pass. The stubborn kid couldn't escape the vortex of fate. Of course, he would never give in to fate. But this time, he had to fall into madness to break free of it. You should feel relieved, shouldn't you? Rise of Mundane has troubled you for over a decade, but even more than resisting it, you've been carefully guarding it. You were guarding a bomb. Fate it would blow at any moment. A fate that the wrong people could use it to hurt the innocent. It was a heavy burden, an extraordinary fate. But in the end, it was just noise, a totally non-lethal headache. Okay, you cannot say it was totally non-lethal. It could have been abused still so much. Maybe not just straight up summoning Herkunftszorn, but you know, that was still powerful magic in a set, okay? Otherwise, Kreide would not have had to die, okay? Don't do this. Don't do this, voices in his mind. Go home, Ebenholz. Gertrudes curse has already fizzled. Nein. Can't bear it. Because it's an even more deliberating curse. In the end, your struggle isn't even worth mentioning, your resistance is meaningless. Those who sacrifice themselves for this, those tears and smiles you've carried in your mind forever. How will you face them? We've come to realize that trust, pity, understanding, mutual alliance, all those incredibly beautiful emotions, they're not precious because they are rare. But they can suddenly turn to light, so weightless, like a choke. Yeah, a choke. How could there be a choke? Is Ebenholz the only one that gets through without Julia, though? Because everybody else kinda was reliant on her to get out of here. Huh. He looks to the spire. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it'd be here. You've been dead so long. You still fantasize about letting this wicked spire descend up in Lifanian again. You won't succeed. I will use all my arts. Wave my wand until it breaks. Manipulate my wisdom dice until they shatter. If you still have flesh, I will destroy it. If you still have a soul, I will annihilate it. I will interrogate you, curse you, and I will kill you. Witch King? Franz. Do not touch the notes in the air. The witchcraft I've integrated into the melody here, which I have deleted, still contains a terrible power that will last until it completely dissipates. Calm your emotions. Evade the will of the ancients from a millennium ago. Do not let your mind be distracted. Ebenholz tightens his grip on his smart but cannot say a word. Man, they are really just teasing his appearance slowly. First just from the back, still not even the face. But hey, at least magic makes fighting music a lot easier, huh? He has heard all about the Witch King. Not too long ago, he was even imprisoned in this room. He knows this history. Notes flow slowly about the space. The might known as Syracuse is leaving the movement that is Lifanian. He hears what sounds like the booming of loud thunder, pouring rain, and surging wind. The will of Lifanian has turned into power that matches heaven and earth, rushing repeatedly over the small room. Even standing at the door, surging energy presses firmly against his heartbeat. There is the man. Doesn't look that insane from this. But hey, maybe that's still where he was not that bad. The man at the center of the room does not turn to look at him. He is focused and proud. He is the beef that stands above the turbulent waves. Ebenholz cannot help but suspect he has come to the wrong place. This looks more like the fateful night of the Certain composer, or a most passionate lecture by a historian. Man, maybe he was not only a tyrant. There's no hatred here, no destiny, nowhere to place his anger. Ebenholz suddenly realizes one thing. He has never truly seen the Witch King in all his life. Not even his most terrifying nightmares. Vermont, you're late again. I don't recall you being such a popular teacher that you find yourself waylaid by a crowd of students. Man, young Fremont looks wrong. First, if a teacher's temperament makes you hesitate in the face of knowledge, that means nothing more than that these youths claiming to be Lithuanians' finest are in fact fit only to tend the ivy that climbs the spires. Hey, you don't need gardeners too. Secondly, is this Ludwig's Universität, not you, that grants me my scholarly stipend each month? I am not at your beck and call. Or will I not talk back to His Majesty, the great Herkunftsohn, like this? Man, they were good pros, weren't they? I'm a pity not to be able to see what is written on this. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe back in the day, Herkunftsohn was alright. He doesn't look insane or anything. This isn't the first time, nor will it be the last. Next month, Kurfürsten from across the land will begin to arrive in Vidunion. Time is running out, Fremont. I hoped that when their audiences conclude, they will each take copies of the amended Güldnes Gesetz back to their respective Kreise. You've known far and wide as an exceptional monarch, being called a once-in-a-millennium ruler by these sheep and deer. Are you really so eager to set your own prestige in stone? What's next? Bringing the Kurfürsten's army and civic powers under the direct control of the Imperial Spire? I imagine how much more powerful the country would be. We've already discussed this. When I first arrived in Lithuanian, the Kaiser at the time was already troubled by the Syracusan question. How long has it been? Now, the wolf pups dare not make but slightly bigger moves. Before he just ascended. Now take some time to choose your robes for the upcoming ceremony. Nobody cares about the robes, come on. I've already chosen. He is still worried that amending the Güldnes Gesetz and accompanying policies would plunge the realm into unforeseen turmoil. I mean, it sounds like it worked very well. Must kinda be very bad for the Empire to lose like a huge chunk of it, don't know. I don't care what happens to Lithuanian, but moving a library would be a tremendous pain. The only thing he cares about. You've been studying the movement ever since you became Kurfürst of Einwald. We both know precisely what it is, but no one dared consider amending it for 1,000 years. The 3 main sections, the 10-fold melody woven into one. It's a truly superior piece of witchcraft, created by the arts masters of a prior millennium. I guess we will never get to know who actually wrote it, will we? It is the supreme will of Lithuanian, infused with the power of countless sages into the creation, contemplation, protection of this land. This is as close as we could possibly come to eternity. Eternity? Setting aside that Emilian philosophers musing on the question of whether or not a man can step into the same river twice. No, it's... You're not the same man and it's not the same river, okay? It's that easy. I think only the religious are particularly fond of using that word. And only you people truly understand its meaning. Eternity. Immutable. Immovable. But eternity does not mean immortality. Indeed. Sages who crafted the movement 1,000 years ago accomplished an impossible feat. That is, when this land came to be known as Lithanian. It's more than just the name of a country. The idea of Lithanian is what allows the people here to both prosper and to suffer together. Breathing elegance, harmony, morality, beauty into every breath we take. They of 1,000,000 ago crafted a superior vision for the country, making Lithanian into a truth of the land. But all the truths eventually decay. Our current fiction with the accuser is the greatest proof of that. But I will bring a better future to Lithanian. New Lithanian ruler produces the movement and looks at the lich. Eternity, immortality. Ekkum's voice is not heavy, but for more hears these hefty words shatter and reassemble between his lips and teeth. How arrogant of you. How very Herkunftszorn. But how can you ensure the Lithanian, under your rule, won't face even greater crisis? The future thing will be truly immortal. There's no composition that can be written, no arts that can be suppressed, no will that can be overcome, no unknown that can be conquered. Immortality lies in renewal. I mean, that's why I guess you do the cool Kaiserinfest every year, right? To this day, both the ocean and the sky remain shrouded in the fog of cognition, and this continent is the limit of what Terrans can know and perceive. So we only do know about our one continent so far. But the knowledge you've shared tells us even the loftiest clouds and deepest sea trenches are nothing but reality, imprisoned by time and space. And beyond this reality, there exists another side of the world, a realm of emptiness, elusive and dangerous. But the questions are endless, and so too must be the answers. The craft spire in Ortica is too small, so I built a Genesis spire in Medunian. It is already the tallest in Lithanian, but not necessarily across all the lands. He needs to compensate is what I'm hearing. But I will never stop. That's the difference between myself and Sage's past. That is immortality, Fremont. I hope that when you build a new spire, you make a few extra rooms, so you won't need to use my own secret chamber just to modify a piece of music. I will. Now then, let us begin. I'll go activate all the resonance capture devices. We'll all be clearer once we dismantle the melody later. Ekkum's sits firmly on the chair in the center of the room, enfolding the movement. The more notches aside priceless ancient tomes make room for the witchcraft phrases. By the way, Fremont, what is it you call the other side of the world? The beginning and end of all threats. That's not ominous. A pretty name. There are phylactery grants liches an almost unique ability among the races, concealing that phylactery means the life that will not end. For infinite time, liches are allowed to glimpse the infinite truths of the world. But do you treat them as merely pages in a tome of knowledge? I mean, I guess, you know, it becomes less spectacular if you actually have experienced everything and are not under time pressure. Caution is in our nature. The more we discover, the fewer spaces we can live. Right then, Fremont. What about you? Me? The beginning and the end of all threats. You often complain that the liches under your command are either too young or too hidebound. But have you ever considered entering that space, rather than treating it as simply a tour which you hide your phylactery? Well, actually no, but you are a good chill pick, I guess. Terrible chill sweeps over Fremont. A faint but dazzling light blooms atop Herkunftszorn's scepter. He has already begun to play the Güldenes Gesetz. Fremont's hand have not stopped either. Lich and Capinai, King of the Royal Court and Kaiser of Lithanian, have always moved in tacit agreement. Even in the tensest moments, the two could insert discussions on various topics. Philosophy, music, and sometimes even the climate and cuisine of Lithanian. Let's go, it's time to discuss sauerkraut. Herkunftszorn had raised the matter so naturally, the true secret threatening the mortality of the liches. If he used his exile to its fullest extent, Leifert could dissolve all of the nodes in an instant, annihilating the defenseless men before him. No one else knew the Lithanian Kaiser had come here. He would have enough time to tell Lichko to flee the country, but Herkunftszorn had wasted so naturally, casually bringing up the secret that had remained hidden all these long years. He clearly will not have to get rid of him later. So long while Fremont burst into hearty laughter. Wonderful. As it happens, Paul's encountered some bottlenecks in my study of that space. If you're really interested, Herkunftszorn, I could lend you my phylactery. So that is what he wanted back so desperately. That's enough, Herkunftszorn. Don't you find the nostalgia nauseating? It's enough to make me want to vomit last night's leftovers. Besides, I'm running out of time. Now that is an old Witch King. It's been a while, Fremont. I'm sure you remember what you've built. The time has come to return it. Well, time to steal it from him. So I guess this will be Herkunftszorn fight, and then next after we'll fight Fremont. He gave us 2 boss fights, I assume? Or we will see.
내 머리 위 형광등이 나아갈 길을 비춰줄 거니까. 안 사라진다면 말이지만.
I do like you here, I think. This is where I see that this is immediately first. I need somebody to beat up this thing in the future. How do I best beat up that thing?